Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. I've got the immense pleasure to introduce Karolin Troubetzkoy and Jaco Smith. Karolin is the executive director of St. Lucia's Anse, Chastanet and Jade Mountain Resorts, and she's accompanied by Jaco Smith, who's her dive associate with Scuba St. Lucia. The resorts feature some of the most stunning views of the famous pitons of St. Lucia, and they are truly an architectural wonder. Anse, Chastanet and Jade Mountain have so many awards, including annually winning the Condé Nast Top Resort of the Caribbean, and also awards from Travel and Leisure, TripAdvisor, and there's just so many that I couldn't possibly even list them all. The resort officially reopens July 24th, and Karolin and Jaco are going to bring us up to speed with what's been going on at the resort and the reopenings of St. Lucia and tell us all about the resorts. We're going to have some questions at the end, so please be sure to post those on Facebook, and we'll answer those when we wrap up. So Karolin, you can take it away.
Thank you, Cami, and hi to everyone at Caradona, and hello to everyone that's watching. It's great to bring to you this afternoon a little bit of our piece of paradise in St. Lucia and show you our two resorts, Anse, Chastanet and Jade Mountain, and then also talk about our scuba operation, Scuba St. Lucia. If you're not familiar with St. Lucia, we are in the Eastern Caribbean. It's about 3.5 hours by plane from Miami and about 4.5 hours from New York. And the island is about 234 square miles in size. And we are in the southwest corner of the island near our famous Piton Mountains, which is a World Heritage Site. You can see in the picture how our two resorts, Anse, Chastanet and Jade Mountain, sit on top of each other. And you actually can see how the reefs start right offshore here and the diving operation being at the south end of our Anse Chastanet beach. My husband, Nick, is the owner together with me, and he's also an architect, and he bought Anse Chastanet in the 70s when it just had a few rooms and then added rooms as he could. And in 2007, he then opened Jade Mountain. It's a dramatic location. St. Lucia is considered one of the most scenic islands in the Caribbean, rightfully so, I think. And our estate is 600 acres, stretching over 2 valleys, and we even have our own helipad. So you could actually, from the airport, which is called Hivanora Airport, that's the international airport, you could arrive by helicopter. It's 60 minutes by land taxi from Hivanora Airport or 6 minutes by helicopter. There are 2 beaches and they're connected with a nice little pathway, so you could actually walk from one beach to the next. And you know, we take you on so many virtual journeys, have done that for the last few months. There is nothing better though than really sitting in the warm Caribbean Sea and enjoying the water all around you. So I'm sure we could all do with a bit of Caribbean water all around us. The second beach is called Anse Beach. And again, here we're just trying to say that, you know, you can take vitamin D supplements, but it's nice to just get it naturally from the sun. That beach is beautiful. In the valley behind the second beach, we have over 12 miles of hiking and biking trails, which I'll show you in a little while. So there's only 49 rooms in total at Anse Chastanet, and 37 of them are on a hillside. We are a very colorful property. We have always operated with keeping the economic benefit in the region to the extent possible. We support local artists. Our bedspreads, floor mats are all made in the region. And whatever we can build locally and buy locally, we buy here on the island. There's a lot of art, both from local and international artists, and you can see that the rooms on the hillside have beautiful views of the Pitons and the Caribbean Sea. So out of the 37 rooms, the lead-in category are the superior, then you have hillside deluxe rooms. I should mention that our rooms are not air-conditioned, but they are built in a fashion that you have fantastic natural ventilation. You can practically feel the breeze coming through these wooden louvers that you see in this picture. So this is one of our hillside deluxe rooms. And again, the material you see in the picture is called madras. It's our national fabric, so to say, and we are making all of these bedspreads and cushion covers locally. Some of the hillside deluxe rooms have open walls. So imagine you are in a little luxury tree house overlooking the treetops and the sea. Some have a swing. And the top category at Anse Chastanet are our premium rooms. Now here I'm showing you another open wall rooms. That means that this is actually, there's no glass here, no windows. These are open wall rooms with fresh air coming in, and you have this amazing view. We have, out of the 49 rooms, about 5 that have open walls. The others have louvers or a little bit more conservative in design. But they are colorful, as you can see, again, because you have just so much artwork everywhere. There is a number of one-of-a-kind suites. This is a picture of our Piton pool suite with a private pool. This particular suite can be combined with a second interconnecting bedroom. Who comes to Anse Chastanet? Well, we have mostly couples. When it's divers, and we have also dive groups, you have single divers as well. And we take children from age 6 in the summer and age 10 in the winter. It's a great property for children. I like the property best for the elder children because there's so much to do, especially when they are ready to also go diving. At beach level, we have 12 beachside deluxe rooms. These are air-conditioned rooms. They are the only rooms directly at the beach. They are tucked in a tropical garden behind the beach, and they are the closest to the diving center, Scuba St. Lucia, so they're quite popular with the divers. There's another one-of-a-kind suite directly on Anse Chastanet Beach. This is a one-bedroom suite, but it's an entire freestanding cottage, the beach house, overlooking Anse Chastanet Beach in the sea, and again, a very nice option if you're looking for special accommodation. In terms of dining, we offer our guests a lot of choice, even though we're a small property with 49 rooms. So on the hillside, we have a seafood-inspired restaurant in our treehouse. Again, open wall, fresh air. And then we also have a vegan restaurant, Emeralds. Vegan, and we also have vegetarian dishes, but this particular restaurant is all vegan, as you can see here. And then we also have an East Indian solution menu that we serve at beach level at nighttime, and a beach grill. That restaurant in the daytime is a casual restaurant where we have a very large menu with both local specialities and hamburgers and other items. And if you want to get away on the second beach, we also have the Anse Jungle Grill, where we apparently serve the world's best burger. I'm not a meat eater, so I'm yet to experience it, but we get good reviews of these burgers. Even when you're scuba diving at Anse Chastanet, there's always a touch of romance in the air. So we do wonderful private beach dinners on the first beach of Anse Chastanet, and also on the second beach. Here we're showing you that we can also do like small groups. This is a pre-COVID picture, and you see that the tables are fairly close together. It's going to be quite easy for us to space them further apart, and generally having a 600-acre property, the adjustments we needed to make now that we are reopening on July 24th were fairly easy and straightforward. I mentioned in the beginning that we have in the valley behind the second beach over 12 miles of hiking and biking trails. There's also excellent bird watching, and you see the remains of an old estate there. And it's a wonderful, wonderful area of 12 miles, as I said, of hiking trails to explore on your own or with one of our guides. We also have mountain bikes there for rental. We have Cannondale bikes that you can rent from us, which again is just a nice exercise if you are interested in doing a little bit more aside from the diving. We have our own 38-foot sailing yacht, the Susie Q. With a crew, you can go on half-day or full-day sails, either privately or with a small group. We have an excellent water sports department with both sit on top kayaks and the more sportive sit inside kayaks. Then you have paddle boards, snorkeling, of course. And it is, in fact, fantastic to do the snorkeling right offshore, very easy. For non-divers, we also offer escorted boat snorkel trips so they can explore other reefs in the area. I'm not going to talk about scuba diving in my part of the presentation. My colleague Jaco will take you to a scuba diving extravaganza when his time has come. I'm just going to show you a little bit more about the rest of the property. So we also have yoga instructors on the team. We offer complimentary sunrise and sunset yoga daily. If you go off property, there are our famous island attractions such as the Sulphur Springs with our mud bath, great fun. And another wonderful addition to our property is our organic farm. The farm actually produces a lot of the vegetables, herbs, and salads that we use in our restaurants, and the guests can visit the farm. We also do cooking classes there, and we also have over 2,000 cocoa trees. So another great fun activity to undertake either privately or with a group is to visit the farm, see how we harvest our cocoa, and how we then take it to our own chocolate lab and start making chocolate from our own cocoa beans. And it is, of course, quite healthy to have a little bit of dark chocolate every day, and antioxidants. Fantastic sunset, since we're on the Caribbean coastline, facing directly into the sunset. And that was on Chastanet. And now I'm showing you a little bit about Jade Mountain. This is our sister property, which my husband designed, built, and which we opened in 2007. It looks more like a sculpture than hotel structure in the traditional sense. And the entire Jade Mountain is a celebration of the amazing view of our pitons. When you arrive, you first see a myriad of bridges, and you don't quite know what's happening. And then you are, in fact, brought to the entrance door of your suite. We call the suite sanctuaries. The door opens and you have before you one of these suites. They are all open wall at Jade Mountain. There are 29 sanctuaries in total. They all have this amazing view of the pitons. 24 of them have private pools. Now, you can see here, these are not plunge pools. These pools are up to 900 square feet in size. I keep joking that we could teach you how to scuba dive in the privacy of your suite. So that's something new. And whether you are here in your bed or you are on the couch or you're in your pool, you're always one-on-one with this tremendous view. Jade Mountain is an adults only resort. And here we have predominantly couples. Even though I keep joking, if you have been locked up with your loved one for a couple of months, you might be enjoying a single moon rather than a new honeymoon when you're planning your next trip. In any case, so here, the 24 pool suites all have a sun, most of them have a sun deck. If they don't have a sun deck, then you have sun chairs actually inside the pool, so you still get the sun. And they're really beautiful sanctuaries. We've had couples that booked themselves into Jade wanting to dive every day, and then one couple never even came out of that suite for 5 days. So that's of course for you to decide how active or inactive you want to be outside of your sanctuary. Different categories. This is a moon category sanctuary, and this is a sun category sanctuary. The difference is simply the size, but even the smallest category at Jade Mountain, the pools are over 450 square feet. And so the suite itself would be over 1,450 square feet. Even the bathtubs, which of course are couples tubs, have a view of the pitons. So it is indeed a love affair with our lovely Piton Mountains. The top category at Jade Mountain are the galaxy sanctuaries. In addition to the pitons, you also have beautiful sunsets. This is a galaxy sanctuary. And you can see perhaps why people just don't want to come out there again. It looks like a painting, but I can assure you it's actually a sanctuary, a suite, an actual room. The pools are all heated, so you can stay in them as long as you like. And at night, the building looks like a little spaceship ready to take off, as there are fiber optic cables in the pools. Both properties have spas. And at Jade Mountain, the service team, we call them major domos. And again, this is a pre-COVID picture. They will have face masks in future when they come close to our guests, but I can assure you they still will smile with their eyes, and the service levels at both properties are outstanding. This is the restaurant at Jade Mountain with the Celestial Terrace. If this picture looks familiar, this terrace has been used by the Bachelor series on several occasions for the final Red Rose proposal. And as I mentioned, we are so lucky to have our organic farm. So we have fantastic farm-to-table menus that are always nutritious and very delicious. And if you have any special dietary requests, we can handle most of them. We have recently come up with a cookbook, the Jade Mountain Gastronomy, that you can buy on Amazon. Our consulting chef is from Florida, Chef Alan Sousa, who inspires the culinary team on island. And so as you heard, we will reopen on July 24. We are very excited. It's been very strange to be closed. That's been the first time in our 40-year history. Clearly, we had to make some adjustments to the operational side. If you'd like to read more about that, you can visit our websites on chastanet.com and look at the resort advisory. It tells you a little bit what's happening right now, because the island has opened what we call, it's a phased opening. So we're in phase 1 still, that's going on till August 31st. So there are certain restrictions that you need to be aware of. So you have the resort advisory, our health and safety protocols, they're also listed in that resort advisory on the website. And the St. Lucia entry requirements, you can see them. I've given you the link there. You go to stlucia.org and you will see exactly what's currently required to come to the island. In terms of airlines, we are served by American Airlines from Miami, Delta Airlines from Atlanta, and JetBlue from JFK Airport. These flights, American is daily, JetBlue is daily, and may even have 2 flights on weekends, and Delta is about 5 times weekly right now. We are expecting our first flight from the UK on July 25th. It's a British Airways flight, and then we also will hopefully soon have flights from Canada again. Again, the situation is fluid. I don't have to tell you why, but we are hoping that we will come back to some sort of normal anytime soon. This is me. I mean, you see me on the screen anyway. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. We have time for questions later, and my colleague Jaco will take over and talk to you about the activity that interests you most, which is scuba diving. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to start sharing my screen in a few minutes, and then I will go through a little bit of the diving to show you a little bit more what the diving is like and what you can experience with us at Scuba St. Lucia. I just want to quickly have a look at it. I think Javier is showing a video right now, correct?
Not yet, Jaco. And I need to, here it is.
Yep, I think it's coming right now.
Right. There we go. Now you guys can actually see what the diving looks like in a few seconds there. I hope you guys can see my screen at the moment, full screen there. That video was actually taken during the COVID close down, and actually shows you that the reefs had some ability to really recover, relax, and prepare themselves for the next sort of customers that we're going to have diving alongside the reef. If we go through a little bit of the diving, Karolin mentioned sort of where Scuba St. Lucia is situated. I just want to quickly show you a map. So St. Lucia is situated just below Martinique, a little bit left of Barbados, above St. Vincent. And if you look on the left-hand side, here you'll see where Soufriere, the town of Soufriere, is located. And that's where actually Anse, Chastanet, Jade Mountain, and Scuba St. Lucia are situated. This is also where the famous two pitons is located. And actually, this is also where the Marine Reserve is located. So all your diving is actually taking place within the Marine Reserve. So you don't have to travel that far in order to do your diving. You'll be greeted by a bunch of absolutely friendly staff. I think this is probably our asset that we have in Scuba St. Lucia and also at Anse Chastanet. You will probably come and visit the staff and leave as family, because they will help you obviously make your diving experience absolutely fantastic. This is a very nice little shot, just showing again where Anse Chastanet is situated in the hillside. Yeah, I can see when my mouse is sort of going over that. And then obviously on the top side, you'll see Jade Mountain. And then on the bottom right-hand side in the corner is actually where the scuba facility is still located. So as you can see, it's very nice to do the diving straight from the beach itself. And you have our own shore dive right in front of the scuba facility called the Anse Chastanet Reef. This is probably one of the most fantastic reefs in St. Lucia, and some of the resorts up in the north would take a boat drive up to an hour to come and dive it, and you have the ability to just step off from the beach and drop down in the front. Where you actually see the water going dark, it's actually a wall 30 to 60 feet right in front of us, so it's actually a beautiful dive to do as well. This is a very nice view from the other side of the beach. It just shows you also that the whole beach is also great for snorkeling, and there's quite a few nice little reefs being, created and by nature right here in front of the beach itself. The scuba facility, like I said, it's right on the beach, so it's very easy just to kit up and walk straight into the water. And then you'll be greeted by fantastic reefs right in front of the resort with spectacular views over to the pitons, as you can see here. So there's really nice little snorkeling to do there as well. You don't have to go far as well. We do offer snorkeling trips for people that want to go to other destinations or other sites as well. So it's not just offered right at our facility. So you can also just go with the snorkel guide, and we'll do some other snorkel trips for you there as well. Our boats basically run straight up onto the beach. It just shows you how easy these diving is with us there itself. So our boats has got front open bows, so you basically step up from the beach onto the boat. And we're currently operating 3 of these boats, which is Miss Aina, Miss Bertha, Miss Tata. These are all ex-staff or staff that used to work with us, which we name our boats. Miss Bertha and Miss Aina are powered by obviously eco-friendly engines. They're very powerful. We don't need big boats because we travel literally like 10 to 15 minutes away from the dive center. So it's very easy diving. This is also nice if you're coming with a couple or person that's a non-diver. They can spend the day on the beach. You can go out for your dive and you come back and you can enjoy lunch and also supper with your family back on the beach as well. So you don't have to spend the whole day on a dive boat traveling hours away from the dive destination or from the dive resort. This is our new addition, which is Miss Bobsy. Miss Bobsy is a 42-foot Arawak double deck. It's beautiful for dive groups that wants to dive. It can take a capacity of over 30 divers, 60 tanks obviously, so a double tank dive is fantastic. It's a brilliant boat to do a little sunset cruise if you come with a group. So this is a very nice little boat. As I mentioned, we tend to name our boats after people that used to work with us. This is Miss Bobsy baptizing her own boat. She's come out of retirement to do this for us there. We'll obviously are very happy with the staff that has served us for years and years. This is a very nice little picture showing again the resort on the left-hand side here. And you can see that all the diving takes you around the pitons, which is the 2 mountains that you see in the background there. One of the dive sites that we have, for instance, a very nice little story, is the tallest piton here on the left-hand side. And right in front is a dive site called Superman's Flight. It has 2 meaning Superman's flight. Sometimes we do have a little bit of a current, which we do drift diving. So you have a feeling that you're sort of flying alongside the reef like Superman. But in reality, that site is also well known as one of the first movies with Christopher Reeves. When he filmed the Superman movie, he actually flew past the pitons, landed by the waterfall in the back, and picked up the flower for Lois Lane. So that's why we call it Superman's flight. So basically two sort of funny names with it itself. Lately, our reefs have been really growing fantastically. The Marine Reserve over the last sort of couple of years has made a very big impact on the reefs as well. It's become very healthy. You saw the little video that's shown there. There's a lot of juvenile fish around it as well. So this is a beautiful picture showing all the new reefs that's being created, by nature underwater. So it shows you how healthy our reefs are. So we're very fortunate to have beautiful, colorful reefs, big gogonias. And if you look at reefs, you tend to sort of look at the gogonias and the soft corals, and if they are really healthy, the polyps are healthy, you know that you have a healthy ecosystem there. So that shows you how well our reefs are doing as well. Great photography opportunities, big schools of fish that will come past during your diving as well. And the reefs are typical. When you sort of dive around, you'll see quite a few vase colorals. They tend to be really big, sort of human size. There's tons of gogonias coming up as well. And you also get these beautiful colorful vase corals on the reef as well. But your macro photography is fantastic in St. Lucia. I do want to mention that obviously St. Lucia does not have the big pelagics like whale sharks or mantas or something like that, but we are very well equipped with macro photography that you can do with us there as well. This is, for instance, like a beautiful picture of a filefish. Here you can also see the type of vase corals that we have. As I mentioned, some of them are massive that you can sort of hide away in them as well. It's beautiful to sort of, just cruise alongside the reef and just see the beautiful, colors that you find there. A lot of people has visited us in the past. This is, for instance, a very nice little message that the president of PADI, he did quite a few seminars with us there, brought people out. And he was very surprised with our international team that we have there. He's also very impressed with the professionalism that the people have served at Scuba St. Lucia. So obviously Scuba St. Lucia team are without a doubt world class. So we'd like to thank Drew for giving that beautiful reference to us there as well. Photography, we have a very good friend of Scuba St. Lucia on Chastanet. Stephen Frink is very well known as an underwater photographer. He's been with us many times in the past, has recently come back again, and he was extremely impressed with how the reefs have impressed him during the last few years. And normally, if you look at the rest of the world, the reefs tend to sort of, die off. We are very fortunate to have very nice little healthy reefs. There's a little testimonial from Stephen Frink, and he also mentions, do not forget to look at also the delights around the dive resort, like visiting the sulfur springs, diamond waterfalls, mineral baths, rainforest. So there's a lot more that the island offers you apart from just the reefs underwater. You don't have to go that far, just snorkel right in front of the beach. You'll find a lot of interesting creatures and critters around the reefs itself. Very nice little picture here as well. Getting into the vase corals, it's great for photography. There's very little currents on a lot of the dives as well, so it makes it very easy to spend time and concentrate on your photography as well. We also have with us a couple of frogfish, which is sort of staying on the house reef. On the house reef specifically, we have a beautiful red one that you see here, but we also have like the yellow frogfish that you find also on the reefs. On the right-hand side, you also see like some of the flying goonards and also the triggerfish that is also visible sometimes when you cross some of the sandy patches from reef to reef. There's a nice little picture of a blue tang juvenile. You can also play some hide and seek underwater if you want to. The next picture shows us very nice little, these are recent pictures that's been taken. And normally people say if your polyps are healthy, you know that you have a healthy reef. This is just sort of showing you how nice the polyps look like underwater with us there. Nice little picture of one of the big vase corals, sponge corals that we get there. Nice little hideaway banded shrimps in some of the vase corals as well. Nice little moray hiding between some of the vase corals. And you can see that it's just colorful underwater itself. It's fantastic. On the right-hand side is the luminous coral sponges that we get there. They're like really luminous underwater. It's amazing to see them. And then we have sort of like a nice little banded moray eel on that side. Sometimes you get like some of the slipper lobsters crawling on the bottom there as well. Or if you look inside the vase corals, you get some of these little crabs hiding inside the vase corals as well. So you'll be sort of surprised. You look around and look at all the things that are hiding around there. Then we have sort of a funny thing at Anse Chastanet. At the reefs itself, there is a creature called the Thing. It's sort of like a segmented worm. It's a beautiful picture showing it. And it's sort of like a long, stretchy worm-like creature. And every segment has its own feet itself. And the front sort of looks like a manta shrimp. And an interesting story with the Thing is that they found it a couple of years ago, quite a few years ago, and they didn't know what it was called, and nobody could identify it. And they named it the Thing because nobody knew what the Thing was actually all about. And then about 6 years ago, Paul Newman brought his new book out, and somebody came and said, "Oh, Paul Newman found the Thing, and it's listed in his book." And I thought, finally, we have a name for the Thing. And when I paged into Paul Newman's book, there's a picture, and it was called The Thing. So up until today, it's still called The Thing. So you can come and look at things at Anse Chastanet reefs itself. Just offshore, beautiful Caribbean squid that you sometimes see as well. And right in front of the Anse Chastanet reef, you get some really nice little grassy patches, and you can find really nice little seahorses also just right in front of the beach as well. Shows you that romance does not only exist in the Anse Chastanet rooms in Jade Mountain, you also have them underwater. Right in front of our reef as well, we have a nice dive site called Turtle Reef. Normally we quite have a few turtles swimming there. The reason for that is that sometimes during the peak seasons, you have the turtles then crawling up onto the beach. So they on the front shore, and then they sort of lay their eggs. And sometimes when you are sort of lying on the beach, you have quite a few hawksbill turtles hatching. And it's quite amazing to see them sort of crawling out of the sand and then sort of squizzing off into the ocean. And it's quite nice to sort of see them being released into the open water itself. We also offer a very nice wreck diving option with us as well. The wreck of the Leslie M is about 20 minutes away from us. Most of our dive sites are maximum 20 minutes away. Most of them, I would say 50–60% is like 10–15 minutes away. So there's no need to do a lot of traveling on the boat. This is a nice little picture showing the Leslie M. It's a very nice, relaxed dive to do. The top of the deck is like at 30–35 feet. So you can really go down to the bottom, circle around, go to the middle deck areas, and then actually do your safety stop on the top of the wreck itself. So it's a beautiful dive to do also there. The lionfish, there's quite a few questions as people has been asking. In the Caribbean, the lionfish has been sort of taking over a lot of the reefs itself. We started quite early at Scuba St. Lucia and also in St. Lucia in actually actively sort of making sure that they do not sort of overpopulate the reef and get rid of all our juvenile fish. So we have a very nice little theme where we say we eat them to beat them. It's become a popular fish for the locals as well. The locals really like catching them as well. And in that way, we can really make sure that the population of the lionfish do not really over exceed and sort of make sure that the reefs are dying. So what we do is we do a very nice paddy speciality course that you can do as well when you're down with us, where you can actually learn how to hunt them. You can come out and then you can see how they are prepared for a meal in the evening. And if you want to, in the evening, you can have a very, very nice little lionfish dinner on the beach with your group. This is also a nice little picture, obviously, before COVID-19. And we'll make sure that you have your distances, obviously, between the tables as well. That's a very nice popular thing also with dive groups that come and visit us a lot. Then they go out and help us sort of control the lionfish population as well. Getting nice to the evening side, it's very nice to also do night diving. As you've seen, the night diving is right in front of us, so it's a very comfortable night diving to do because you can basically just enter the water from the beach and do some beautiful night diving. Sometimes we do sort of like a fluorescent night diving where we take fluorescent lights, and you can see it's absolutely fantastic. You see a total different world when you actually do it with the fluorescent lights. So it's very nice to do as well. In the last full moon in August every year, we've been very lucky to have coral spawning taking place with us as well. And this is actually where a lot of the corals spawn, brain corals and brittle stars and things like that. So a lot of people also come and visit us during that time. A lot of dive groups come out as well, where we schedule extra night diving, and you can actually see this spectacular event taking place. Here you can see that the brain corals are starting to prepare. The next slide, you can actually see how the brittle stars are releasing their eggs. This is the ruby brittle star releasing their eggs. And on the right-hand side, you can actually see how the brittle stars try to get to the highest point of the reef in order to release their eggs. This is a beautiful picture showing how the ruby brittle star releases the eggs as well. And this is a nice picture showing how the corals are spawning as well. It's a fantastic time to be underwater. It's an experience of a lifetime. So it's actually quite nice to sort of do diving during this period. You sort of have a feeling that the whole reef is in sort of a Rio festival scene. Everything is dancing and being happy. We also do have quite a few dive groups coming to us as well. So you have a couple of people that's interested in coming down. We offer dive group specialities or dive group specials. So if you have more than 8 people, we can actually offer your own boat with your own dive guide. And it actually makes your diving actually really nice and comfortable when you come down with us. When you come down, your scuba facility will take care of everything for you down there. All you have to do is do your own diving. We can't do that for you, but we'll make sure that the rest of your diving is taken care of. We'll prepare your equipment. We'll make sure your equipment is rinsed off and things like that. This is sort of like a typical thing that we do with dive groups if they come down. Just a schedule I've just sort of posted in there, so you can have different types of schedules pre-planned and make sure that your dive group is really nicely taken care of during your stay with us as well. So if you're looking for a place that you want to sort of have beautiful diving as you see the diving, or maybe you just want to have tranquility, just lie on the beach, hang in the hammock, order your Bloody Mary and just relax. Or if you want to have romance, you can stay in your room at Jade Mountain and enjoy the beautiful Piton view. Or if you're really interested in adventure with your group, you can go to the mud baths and really get really excited. So if you're looking for all of that, there's only one place to find that, and obviously that is at Anse Chastanet. There's a lot of activities that you can do with us there as well, not just on property, but also off property. This particular picture is actually taken at the mud baths, where they've sort of taken all the Sulphur Springs mud and rubbed them all in there. But we really do take care of you when you're down there itself. So this is sort of my end on the whole presentation. I would like maybe just to go to the next slide, and maybe Karolin or maybe Cami, if you wanted to talk about the fundraising, the lottery thing that's taking place. Karolin?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. It's actually today and tomorrow are the last 2 days that you can join our resort team member fund and lottery. So it's something we did when COVID struck. I mean, we have over 540 employees, and even though there are some unemployment benefits, it's not a lot, and we wanted to just do a little bit more for our team. And so we're giving away 2 stays. And of course, that's just one of many things we have done as a company as well. I mean, this is just one of the many support mechanisms that we came up with. So if you donate $50 to the Anse Chastanet lottery, you can win a 7-night stay for 2 in the beach house. If you donate $100, you can win a 7-night stay at Jade Mountain. Now, these lotteries are going to be live till midnight tomorrow, July 23rd, 12 a.m. It's actually confusing because it sounds like it might be off today, but it's supposed to last till the end of tomorrow. I just might need to make sure. So it is midnight and then July 24 would be the next day. So you can go to this link there, or if you just go again to jademountain.com and look at the resort advisory, we are making mention of the lottery at the ending of the letter. And of course, any donations are welcome, and our resort team will appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. And that was a great way to wrap up. We were always doing so much for your staff. Let me ever heard and you just do so much, and we're so appreciative of that. I was lucky enough to stay at Jade Mountain 3 years ago, and I tell people all the time, it was just an experience of a lifetime. It's a stay that you just remember forever. The staff, the food, the diving, the rooms, you just can't say enough. So Doris is listening in, and keep an eye on Facebook. And I know she's had a few questions so far. Doris, maybe let us know what you're hearing.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
We can hear Doris. We couldn't hear Cami, unfortunately.
Okay, I couldn't hear her either, but I thought I would jump in and just start with some questions. Facebook has been a flutter with all of our questions, so I'm going to jump right in. I'm a Florida girl, so I'm used to all kinds of creepy crawly things, but we did have some questions on the open air rooms if they had any issues with bugs or mosquitoes or anything. Can you give us a little bit about what the resort does to keep it nice and clean?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we couldn't even offer open wall rooms if there was a concern, but it does take work, and it takes year-round programs. So we have a very, very detailed insect prevention program where we ensure that there is no standing water anywhere, or that we basically have to eradicate any possible breeding grounds. So the team has they have a grid all over the property, and they check everything. And with doing that, that's really helped us to keep it fairly insect-free. I say fairly because there will always be that one guest that will attract a mosquito to come all the way over from Martinique to find that person. But generally speaking, and I invite anyone to go on TripAdvisor, you wouldn't see any concerns about insects.
Absolutely. I stayed there, and it was in the heat of the tropical summer in September. And while it was warm, it was actually cool up in the rooms, and we didn't have any issues with the bugs.
Yeah, and again, and we are mostly up on a hillside, and so you have a nice breeze on top of it, which helps as well.
Okay, and then we have another question from some folks that are asking about the bedding in the rooms. I know that most of them have either a king or two twins, and you can add a bed, but what's the sizing of the bed? How does that work for the dive groups, or just brother, sister, or families?
So we have flexibility there because especially with dive groups, we often have guests sharing that are not couples. And so whilst we have king beds everywhere, they can be changed into two twin beds. And some of the beach rooms also have a king and a double bed. And then, if you have someone that requires a larger bed than a twin, then we do have doubles as well that we can place in a room. In terms of the room categories, it's not a problem to split the beds in any of these categories, but if you add a third person, then I would always recommend you go to a beach deluxe or hill deluxe room, because the rooms are just a little more spacious, and so you have more space if it's 3 people sharing.
Okay, awesome. And before I move over to the diving with Jaco, I did just want to read a comment from one of our guests, and it's just so nice. I just wanted to share it with you, Karolin. It's Melanie, and she says, as a travel journalist covering the Caribbean extensively, describing resorts is what I do every day. But truly, there are not enough adjectives in the dictionary to describe the sheer beauty of both resorts. So I thought you would get a kick out of that.
Nice. Wow,
very
really
nice. Very nice.
Thank you,
And Jaco. Excellent. Jaco, okay, first off, those coral spawning pictures were absolutely amazing. Can you refresh a little bit about the time of year if somebody's specifically looking to do something like that?
Yeah, we normally have the dates quite nicely fixed. We've been very lucky with it, but it's normally the last full moon in August. And we normally look at like 3 days before, 3 days after the last full moon in August. So if you look at any calendar of full moon, you can really look at the next year, 2021 or 2022. And we normally post these dates also on our website as well. So if you go to scubasaintlucia.com, these dates will also be available there. And you can always contact us if you have a specific date that you want to, try and come down. But it's normally the last full moon in August is normally the time period.
Perfect, perfect. And so we sell the run of house dive package because it's such a great value for our divers, and it has the option of either shore or boat dives. How does that exactly work? I mean, typically if there's boat diving available, most folks just do the 6 days of 2-tank boat dives, but how would they go about shore dives? Can you explain that?
Sure, not a problem. Well, normally what we have is we have a scheduled boat diving that takes place. You either can do an early morning boat dive, like maybe around about 8 in the morning. Then we have the 10 o'clock boat dive and then the 2 o'clock boat dive. So there's basically 3 boat dives that takes place. On some certain days when we do the wreck diving, we will do a double tank dive in the morning, which means we will go down to the wreck, do a boat dive, do a surface interval, and then do another dive on the way back. Normally, when you come to Anse Chastanet, because the dive site on Chastanet Reef is so pretty and it's one of the nicest dives in St. Lucia, it's also ideal for you to sort of come in with your equipment, step into the water, make sure your regulator is working, make sure your BCD is working, and you can basically make sure that you have enough weight. So normally your first dive with us will be the Anse Chastanet Reef that allows you to make sure all your equipment is comfortable and fitting 100%. And then you can schedule any beach diving that you want to do if you want to do extra diving. So we have certain time periods during the day that you can do that, but also if you have sort of a special request at a certain time, that can always be asked by the dive shop managers to sort of arrange something for you on a special occasion or something.
Okay, very good. And this may have changed based on the COVID, distancing, but how many people normally, or how many divers per boat? I know you've got a few boats, so it might be a little bit of a longer answer.
I can answer that for you, Jaco, because the boats have all been recertified. They originally had 24 divers, and now they're licensed for 12 each, and the Miss Babsy for 18. So lesser divers on the boats, but certified again under the new protocols and procedures.
Okay, very good. And one last question about the dive shop. It's full service, so if anybody needs any rental gear or wants to take any classes, advanced training, anything like that, you guys can do it all?
Correct. We can do that. We can do advanced training, rescue diving, dive master. There's quite a few specialty courses that you can do as well if you want to get trained in nitrox as well. Like the lionfish specialty is also very popular by a lot of the guests because it's something very interesting. So things like that can easily be arranged as well. Normally we ask people if they are traveling and they are thinking of maybe doing some specialty or diving courses, that it would be nice if we know that in advance. It just makes our planning a little bit more easier, so we can make sure that you have an instructor available for you when you come down, so we can run your courses for you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, and like I said, those were a lot of questions, but a lot of the comments on Facebook were just, how wonderful the property is, that folks can't wait to get back there. And some of them are talking about they're booked already, and hopefully everything will go off without a hitch. So thank you guys so much. The presentation was awesome.
Great, Doris. Thank you very much. I think something I can just mention with the dive center as well, people always ask for that. You have at the dive center full facility to leave your gear. It's locked away in the evening, so you don't have to carry that around you the whole time. So normally if you check in with us, we'll pick up your dive gear from your room, take it down to the dive center, and it's all stowed away at the dive center as well. There's also facilities to charge your cameras and things like that. So like you mentioned, it's a full service. We make sure that you enjoy your stay and you have a happy diving with us.
Fantastic. Thank you. Kenny?
Oh,
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful presentation.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. See you guys in St. Lucia soon.
Bye-bye.